Hello, 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 and welcome to the Unleashed Games weekly playtest where you join me and my guest live, me, Irena Pereira, CEO of Unleashed Games. I forgot that part. It's so great to have you here. I see some familiar faces and I see some new faces. Welcome, everybody. We really appreciate everyone who comes and watches along with our stream because we are building a game out in the open. This is a massive experiment, y'all, and one that the industry is kind of iffy on. So we appreciate your resilience as you community up with us and help us build what we think is the greatest game ever. And what we get to play every week is our prototype of a game that we have been building and imagining together to be the ultimate online RPG made by some of the creators of some of the most ultimate games like World of Warcraft, Medal of Honor, Monopoly Go. Uh, we're really working hard to get this game together and out to the public. But we want to share it with you all as we build it because we also know that the journey of going from prototype to release game is a long journey. And we want to have friends along with us for the ride because we know that we're not the ultimate arbiters of what is cool. We actually think what is the ultimate arbitration of what's cool is what we as a community come up with together. And we know some folks that join us are deep game development experts that really know how to deliver incredible games for multiple platforms. And others are phenomenal founders that have really unique perspectives and they're innovating in different ways within the game industry. And we actually have an amazing guest that is a crafter, a developer, somebody who has made some really iconic titles that I cannot wait to introduce you to. But first, we have one quick announcement. Is that somehow, because I asked the universe for this gift, it's all coming together. But I'm going to be going to Games Beat next in San Francisco, October 28th to 29th. I've got a few meetings scheduled in San Francisco that week, and I was told that I have to be there. So I figured out how to get there. Oh, I see Paul Sawaya is going to be there. Yes, my friend. I cannot wait to see you. We have to have dinner. But this is my little game dev and startup community is based out it's like so concentrated in San Francisco, and they're all going to be arriving around that time. So I cannot wait. The games industry has done a phenomenal job creating community around the business of building games. But that aside, San Francisco, if you have been on the fence about going, you should absolutely go and check it out. It's going to be a great small gathering, unlike some of the bigger ones like GDC or DICE. This is a more of an intimate show, and you can feel it in how close everybody gets. So the other news that we have is that we have a good friend of mine that I met many, many years ago when I was working at Blizzard on World of Warcraft. And we had a shared social circle. And she worked at another company building another game alongside our development on WoW. And she was working on this really, really cool tactical MMO game called Wildstar. And it was really groundbreaking, a whole new vibe. And the worlds were absolutely stunning. The art execution in that game. I think those of you who have played Wildstar, shout out to Wildstar fans, know that world was luscious. And this guest, her name is Becky Coker, was very much a part of that story and bringing that world to life. Welcome. It's so good to have you.
It's good to have you. It's good to be here. It's good that you were able to have me here. I am so excited to get to spend more time with Irena, by the way. Like I said, you mentioned the shared social circles. And yeah, it's always so much fun to be with you, Irena.
Oh my goodness. And we actually reconnected at a random birthday party, not a random birthday party, a birthday party for our friend Ruth. And it was like no time had passed because I had to move out to the East Coast, and you and I both had kids and had families.
Oh gosh.
But now coming back together, y'all, the reason why Becky's here is partly because Becky was so excited, for us to like collaborate, and I was so excited to collaborate with Becky that Becky is helping us out on Haven and concepting and lending some of her visual genius to our world expression. Because even Becky, you have opened up our eyes to like the possibility, and like you've even kind of opened up our thinking about the gameplay of certain game features like early on that have really sparked some creativity on the team. So thank you for just lending your energy.
Of course, yeah, I have a lot of energy for sure, but I see your game and I see what you're trying to do, and it's just so easy to just hop in and be like, oh my gosh, there's a really cool idea here. What if we also like expanded it in this direction or that direction? And that's the part of game development, is that you think you have an idea and then you add someone else to the mix and boom, it just explodes. So
absolutely, I see game development as like a continuous roundabout of plus ones, right? You hand it to the
really
next person,
is,
and
yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's
one.
yeah, and the best game development I think really comes when you allow people that expression, where you don't just say, this is what we're making. It's super narrow, because as soon as you get narrow, you get rigid, and humans are flexible, and I really really love that. When you just get to do that. So yeah, I started my industry experience in Wildstar. That was where I first got in. I did so much of the structures. For those of the Wildstar fans, I did the textures for the Auron and the Draken race. There was, oh my god, that team was so much talent. I did the Falcon and the Merc stuff textures as well. Did a lot of those. But yeah, got it. If there's anyone that still remembers Wildstar, that was so much fun. I keep.
It sounds like Serenia and Nix, who is watching, just like ran back in from the kitchen when she heard the name Wildstar mentioned.
Yeah, I was on that game for over 6 years, so that was fun.
Oh my goodness, the and the art again, like it was a really stylized game. And then the next game that I wanted to mention that you've worked on more recently is that you got to contribute to Palia.
Yeah, I was there. I was only there for about a year-ish. So I was mostly there for getting it, through launch. But gosh, that was, I just love that bold style where you have those, really strong colors. I think that's a really valuable thing in just stylized games in general. It reads well. It's more classic. It's more timeless. I can go on about, I love the look of realism. I personally prefer working in stylized if I had a choice, just because it's, when you get to stylize, production, especially for MMOs, they can take easily, anywhere from like 5 to 8 years for an MMO to really gel. Like there's just a lot of assets that go into it. And the technology that you start with and that you end with for such a long production cycle, that's really hard to do realism, because the technology moves on, and you might look cutting edge at the beginning of dev, and 8 years later, you're looking pretty dated. I mean, anyone remember the original Doom? And we all thought that looked realistic. Like it was, it is a classic, and we love it. But it doesn't read as realistic or super detailed anymore. It's pretty pixelated because technology moved on. So.
Well, yeah, and I feel like it's stylized games that really can last a lot longer. I mean, look at the games that have lasted in our zeitgeist for 20 plus years. World of Warcraft being one. You've got Minecraft for all. It is stylized. It's a very specific pixeled style. Yeah. Fortnite even itself is its own stylized look. I think that there's a certain, like you said, there's a classicness, there's a timelessness, and that's kind of the impulse that brought us to go stylized with our art for Haven.
It's also more realistic for the different platforms. Like you can't just assume these days that people are on like the two platforms. It used to be like, your Nintendo plugged into your TV, or you were on a PC that was, how to monitor this big, and you knew what you were working with. Like there's just so many options out now. We have tiny cell phones, we have tablets. More and more people are choosing to get a nice laptop, and that's their entertainment for their entire house, which is amazing. I think that's really efficient. But that means that your screen might be this big, and while realism looks great, like a big screen TV, sometimes it just was needed to really sell that detail. When you have smaller, if you have a lot going on, if especially multiplayer and just, spells flying across the scene, having a clear, distinct style really helps readability for the game. I mean, that's games are meant to be played. You're not just sitting back the whole time. Like, sure, the cinematic trailers, which are amazing, but we need to be able to know how to interact. We need to know what to click on. We need to know what to avoid. That's where to go. Those are all things that artistically, I think, stylized is really efficient with. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And the perspective around multi-platform actually drove a lot of our decision making too, because we could do a lot more with a lot less if we went in with art assets that were simpler, more straightforward. You don't have highly textured or highly detailed textures or high poly models. How little can you, or how much can you do with a very little? And now like our game plays like with decent frame rate on a phone in prototype form. And like, that's one of the biggest wins. And we've been trying to solve this, like this question of the hard part being, can we get multiplayer working? And then the other hard part is, can we be cross-platform? And art was a key piece of that.
Yeah. And I'm all here for the art. So.
Yeah. Well, I would love to get your thoughts. Let's go drink some tea and have you spill it on what you think of our art. And please, like, be completely honest. Some of them are store-bought assets. Some of them are homemade assets. But don't judge too harshly. And at the same time, I would love your thoughts on where you think we could do better.
Well, now I just want to judge.
No, that's what these sessions are for, friend. Oh my goodness. All right. Would you like to play a game, Becky?
I would love to play a game. Games are fun.
Yay. All right. So we're going to play our trailer as a palate cleanser before we go into gameplay. This is kind of our imagined, maybe this would be the flow when you first join the game for the first time. So welcome, noob. Let's go play Haven.
All right.
Yeah.
The world we once knew has been lost to shadow. Was it thunder and fire and brimstone? Drowned in flood and rain? Was it tragic decadence? A great fall? Unspeakable corruption? Or did the awakening of magic destroy our world? No one knows for certain. Reach through the shadowy mists. Find a fragment of land infested with shadowy corruption, yet lit enough to find your way. Find a creature of light, a sylph. They are friendly and willing to guide you. Perhaps the two of you can find other survivors. Perhaps this land can serve as a shelter. Perhaps together you can build a sort of haven. Forge friendships to save the world.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's get into it then. All right. So I'm going to start by creating my character, I guess. I will just be Becky since I am that person. And I am healer female. I'll go with that. I can do that.
Nice. Yeah. Do it to it.
All right. Got a little wave.
Isn't she cute?
She's fun. I mean, for a beginning, even just for the trailer, I know that you have a lot of the tempo work, but in terms of pacing, like the whole pacing felt good. got some nice framing initially there. And I don't know if people have ever seen, early, what they call like, animatics or storyboardings for those kind of cinematics. That's you're not going to get super polished. You're not going to get,
No.
multi-million-dollar trailer with the, right off the bat. Those take months to years to make really, really well. So, just to really see that kind of initial start, though, you can see some of the gameplay. So I'm already kind of looking forward to gathering, to combat. Sounds like there might be some nice character progression. So those are all things that I can kind of pull from that I'm kind of looking forward to. So we'll
I love that. Thank you. All right.
Okay. So first, I like that there's already sort of a clear goal with where I need to go for those beacon lights. And we're like, oh, shiny. What's over shiny? You have jump. Oh, thank God you have jump. Okay, so I'm in a little grove. I got something waving around my butt. What's around my butt? I think that was a sylph from the trailer.
It sure is. It sure is. She doesn't have a lot of functionality yet, or they don't have a lot of functionality yet. But we have lots of dreams of what we do with that sylph. But for the meantime, we got the tech working and making it look cute and cool.
Okay, so target out of range. So that means I can go over to this. Got some wood. And can I keep shopping?
You gotta loot the wood.
Loot the wood. Oh, I had to loot things? I had to do things? How dare a game make me do things? Got some shrooms and mana potion. Fun. I like that at least the window going automatically away. I like that. Oh, mining as well. I find it interesting that you start off with effectively all your tools. A lot of times games will sort of gate that. So I'm not sure if that's something that gets adjusted down the line. But
yeah, it feels like that there's like this certain ritual now to survival style games where like you have to get wood as your first thing, or you have to craft your tools before you can do anything. And it's almost like, hey, can we fast forward past that part a little bit? Like, how could we make this a little bit more straightforward so we can get to the good stuff?
All right. Yeah, yeah, I think there is a
fine line.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about being able to feel progression, like you're getting stronger or you're getting more skillful. But I think it really depends on what you use everything for. This thing is trying to kill me. Yep. That thing just wrecked me.
Uh-oh. Did you just get eaten?
I just got eaten by a kraken.
That's our stump monster.
That stump monster wants to... Screw that stump monster. I'm going over here.
Yeah, see, in Haven, things want to eat you. You got to be careful.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's interesting. I see also some fog. I can see that's... Again, I know what prototyping is. Like, I get the idea for fog. I can really see that, once you get some really good particle effects in here kind of coming through the trees, it can look pretty spooky.
Yeah.
That could be really fun. What's that shiny thing over there? I saw a shiny thing. What's that shiny thing? Was there something shiny? Or do I just... Nope, just kill a tree instead.
Attack that tree. I mean, it might have been me sneaking by, not wanting to spoil the action.
It's quite possible.
It's spoiled just now. But, as one does.
All right. So out of curiosity, am I supposed to kill that kraken root? Can I kill that kraken?
You are, actually. That's supposed to be your first encounter with a mob. And your first encounter with combat.
Oh, look, someone killed it for me. Woo-hoo! I have people here.
That's me.
How do I wave? How do I wave?
It should be number 7. Oh, you've got some icons swapped around, but that's okay. There you go. So you've got animations with the turquoise action bar buttons. Number 8 teleports you home, and then all of your combat abilities are 1 through 6.
All right. Okay.
The best spell that you have that I like a lot is spell number 6. If you target me, you can cast it on me. And that's a buff, so it makes me stronger. And good news, I have one for you too.
Oh,
Here you go.
okay.
And so you can actually, if you click on, I don't know if you can click on yourself right now. That's turned off. But if you click in the upper left-hand corner at your character portrait,
I see. Okay.
and you can cast on you.
Oh, okay. So self-cast. Ending light. Ooh, it's a no dying thing. Cool. I probably could have used that.
Wait a
Log
second.
in my
Which one is your? No, that's not your number 6.
number 6, number 2, number 6.
What
I
is
did
that
number
one?
2.
Shielding light.
I had low health. My health needed to come back.
Oh,
So-
well, that works too. I mean, it's important. It's important. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you can actually give that buff to Frank too. Frank, say hello, Frank. Hello.
Hello. All right, now
These are
let me buff
important
you.
social tools.
Did I get it? I think I got it. Okay.
Yeah, he caught it. He caught your
There
buff.
we go. Cool. Oh, I can see, like, what's kind of cool is that, I can see up here. So am I already in a group with you guys? Or is
You
it just
are
people that are close
actually.
by?
We have
Okay.
auto grouping.
Okay. Auto grouping is interesting. That just sort of automatically gives you what you need.
Yeah, it groups you into a group, and it basically keeps you aware of how close they are to you, and
Okay.
also if they zone out and die, you'll notice. It'll just inform you like that if you've been grouped, like playing alongside some other people. We just treat that as if it's a group.
Okay, so if I get
that actual action.
So if I get super far away from them, will they just automatically drop out of the group?
Yes, and after like a delay timer of like 15 minutes, like if they're gone for a while.
Yeah.
That Kraken root out of range.
That Kraken root animation in the background is freaking creepy. I approve.
That was the hardest thing to animate. Oh my gosh.
I believe it. I have heard nothing but curse words whenever someone tries to do an IK system for a spider. And I'm like, it's got tentacles. I'm like, oh my goodness. I believe it.
I think it might be a septipod. I don't know. Let me go count the legs.
Let me
count the legs. 1, 2, 3. It looks like a septipod.
I'm building a site. I'm doing happy birthday. What is this? Oh, we have a snowman.
We built the snowman.
Oh, I built a snowman. I don't know what's going on. It's amazing. Okay.
So yeah, this is our village over here. Let's go for a tour.
Yeah, I want to see these shiny lights. What I was drawn to.
These are our beacons.
Okay.
And this one in particular is this is the central beacon of the village. Right now, we use these assets to indicate a player like building plot. So the ones on the perimeter are like, your building plot and my building plot and Frank's. Only we can build there. And it's, protected. But then there's a shared space where we can build joint buildings, like an arcane mill, which is a shared crafting building. Because as you build different buildings, it unlocks new tiers of buildings that you can build that then unlocks new functionality, new trade skills, and new power levels for players. But these are at least right now, we are using beacons for this, and they are also teleporters. So we can go on an adventure, or we can do some quests, or we can build, we can harvest. What would you do your first night playing a video game?
I usually do first, harvesting, questing, and figure out my home base. I like to make a home base nice and safe. But then, a few quests around the area, and then venture and see where that goes. So
I'm following your lead. Let's go.
All right. I really want to see how your building system works over here. So I see this.
This one isn't configurable. This is like a static object. But if we go over here, we can build build a house. So let's do that. Right around this beacon. Go ahead and hit the hammer build menu.
Okay.
In the lower right-hand corner.
Okay, build. So I can do. I already built the snowman. Let's build a house. Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. I'm going to. Can I rotate it? I can just rotate myself. That works. Okay, so I like that it goes in and out of bounds. That's a nice clear color indication. Can I build over you? Let's build over you.
Oh no, it might actually bug me out. So I'll move out of the way. It is a prototype after all.
Of course.
Bases are covered. Sometimes it makes people fall through the world and then fall forever, and then I'm sad. Sad panda.
Thank you for telling me not to. The first thing I ever do whenever I go into a game that's not done is I try to break it. It's a
Well,
bad
that's
habit of mine.
yes, please. Isn't that's our job? Just break
Yep.
it,
Okay.
shake it, and
Got
break
a
it.
little foundation here. All right.
Yay.
Build site. I do have wood. And I can type in 3, I'm guessing, or can I just add? Just add wood.
You added wood. Let's go.
All right. I
Let's
see
build.
you're helping build as well.
Yes, everything in our game is collaborative.
Okay. And it goes faster as you collaborate?
It sure does. Isn't
Okay.
that cool?
That's pretty awesome. That's always fun. I mean, one of the fun things about Palia's housing was that other people can come and like water your plants when you weren't there. And I thought that was really, I was like, oh, it's like house sitting in virtual life.
Well, yeah, and hopefully your plants don't die, because that's the benefit of having digital plants, is that they never die.
Oh, I still managed to kill him in school. All right.
There's our house. Again,
Okay.
this is a straight up like store-bought asset from the Unity Asset Store.
Yeah.
Because
But
it was architected the way that you would want a modular building system to be structured. And so you're able to build the back-end system to be able to operate.
okay. Well, I mean, the whole purpose of a prototype like this isn't to have final art. You know, it's to do a proof of concept of you have multiple people collaborating and showing that, you know, within a playtest. It's like, oh, I can see that people are helping. So if it was fleshed out day one, games wouldn't take several $1 million to build. It's done.
Right. Right.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Games take time and money. Odd.
What? No, we just dream them up and we just make them before breakfast is done. Don't you know that?
I actually had somebody say to me, well, but didn't like that one guy build Minecraft and that one guy build Stardew Valley, and and I'm like, yes, and obviously they were being supported by their partner for the whole time, and like the game was actually paid for by the investment of the partner and allowing that other partner to not work for like 7 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, to make games properly that, like, you know, are incredible, like Stardew Valley, you either need a deep investment of time, a deep investment of money, and a deep investment in quality. Or like those are the 3 options of the things that you can have, but you can only have 2, right?
I think there's also worth mentioning that, you know, did either of those 2 creators have game development jobs before they created those games? Or was that their very first game? I don't remember. I actually honestly don't know. But
oh yeah,
I do.
The Stardew Valley, Frank says, took oh goodness, what's his name? Frank, help me out. My brain is failing me. Like, but the creator of Stardew Valley took him 4 years while he was working part-time at a movie theater.
Yeah, I guess, you know, there are good game engines out, especially for the 2D. There's like, you know, there's little, like, they call them game makers. So there's a lot of good structures out there for people who want to build games, but someone had to build that engine. And there's also, you know, the fact that you have a lot of people, you know, when they want to build, like, especially 3D stuff, it takes a while. Like you sometimes need to know, you know, people in a community in order to get good questions answered. Like, you know, we all run into
Bored Ape is his handle on Twitter. No,
okay.
that was the NFTs thing. My brain.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley guy was a trophy boyfriend. That's really funny, Paul. But seriously, like it takes a lot of work, and then like make something 3D. Like when we debated about 3D to 2D on Monopoly Go. Like, shouldn't we just make Monopoly Go 2D because it'll be cheaper and faster? And we like controversially made the 3D choice because 3D is so much more expensive.
Yeah, it really is. Not all, but a good portion of the successful indie games that are like your one-man teams are 2D. I mean, yes, obviously we can point to Minecraft as a good example of not. It's just there's a lot of work that goes into these.
That was like one 3D asset with different textures.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still. I mean, that's more Minecraft, while it does have an iconic style that is adorable, it's really known for the gameplay, the programming, the voxel system that's super crazy and fun to kind of get into. My son is obsessed with Minecraft, so
it's a fantastic game.
Yeah,
all props to that effort, but that's not like a typical situation. That's not how games typically work. I mean, World of Warcraft took over $100 million and 7 years to build,
and that was a
lot of money.
And systems have changed since then. I would say it is also, we're not trying to say, people who can make a game on their own, like there's a lot to be admired on that. It's just those games tend to have, a particular style. I mean, I'm trying to think if initially Stardew Valley was multiplayer, because online, like getting those servers to work, that's really technical, to be able to connect multiplayer. I think typically they all start, single player, just because there's a lot of like servers are expensive to just run too. Like,
hey, there's somebody who's having some fun with us. Look at that FPS. Way to go, guys. Yeah, our FPS is horrible. This game has not been optimized whatsoever, ever. Like, you try to build a game, and then if you try to optimize one while it's in prototype form, like, don't do that. That's a waste of money.
Yeah, it is.
Like, seriously, tell me you don't know game dev without saying you don't know game dev. But we'll certainly be working on that frame rate closer to launch when things are more nailed down. There's a few quests. Like, we used to have this joke at 38 Studios when something looked really terrible and broken, like, or we had a really horrible frame rate, we would all like start high-fiving and say, "Ship it!" Like, just put it, like, send that, like, look at all this amazing UI that is like, this is all perfect. Everything is perfect and ready to go for launch. Ship it. Ship everything.
30 years, you probably could have shipped this and had a.
Scourge said he was being serious. It looks a lot smoother than it did last stream. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, Scourge. Legit. No, we're all friends here. We welcome friendly voices. But if you all ever want to push back, or you have some like something to knock us on, like, that's the whole point of this stream, is like, give us feedback. What do you think? We like to have conversations because we're all like building this game together. And there's a reason why we use like these store-bought assets, because like that's not our selling point. The thing that's more important, like, and we did spend time on, is like these characters. Actually, you can see the blacksmith is one of our older characters with an older shader. We didn't get the toon shader on it early enough. But like, these characters were important for us to get a sense of like individuality and different classes to get the personality. Like, that's where we invested, and we got all these animations in. Like, we got a cheer, we've got a dance, we've got a wave, we've got a jump. Like, these are vital social tools.
I think it also, as a prototype, it also shows the tone of the game that you're trying to do. You're trying to do something cheerful. You're trying to do something more lighthearted. You're not trying to do something that's like, I don't know,
Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's like, like, he's not like some like, old bent over, about to fall over, you better rescue him kind of person. He's got some energy. He's, got, moving around a lot. He feels curious. And that, I think, really sets a tone, that you're trying to get for a game. And that's, that's important. Again, when you're trying to establish where you want to go initially. And I was told I have to go kill something. Let's go. I don't know where the things are to kill. Where do I go kill things?
Well, I mean, the beacons are your teleport to adventure.
All right. Okay. So kill shadow wolves. So
let's go find us some shadow wolves.
This is what happens when I talk instead of actually read the quest.
Hey, but I will buff you.
All right. Well, I teleported. I have no idea where I am. I am in a new area.
So, Frank says he's hitting 78 frames per second right now. That's pretty awesome. So here's the cool part, Becky. Like, this is one of our generated zones.
Okay. So generated this isn't actually one that's just standard here. You just does it automatically do it live, or how's it kind of work?
So it constructs the zone the minute the first person teleports onto it, and then that's your zone. And we have like a series of rule sets of like, hey, what are the textures? Hey, what are the objects that need to be distributed? What size are they? How frequently should these objects be present? And then also we have a way to be able to paint like static pieces that get rendered like, very like we have one specific thing that we'll try to find that is put somewhere in the zone. It's almost like this whole zone is a new maze every time. So when we were talking about, how like we want to vibe towards escape room, like this whole zone is one big quest that we get to start to solve. But in theory, we should be running into other players. Like, when we're in alpha and we open up the game more, like we will run into other groups and players from other villages in this space.
Okay. I think it would be interesting. Do I get to loot as well, or have they already been looted?
Yes, you sure do.
All right,
be our guest. Be our guest. Your health potions are all yours.
I think I love the escape room. Those are so much fun. I have a friend who every time we do an escape room, I mean, I want to win too, but he wants to win so much. He's so competitive that I just want to kind of mess with him.
I appreciate that impulse. Ooh,
I have that. That is just how I roll pretty much every single day.
That's fair. Where you're with us. So you see these like little balls floating on the on like the terrain.
Well, that's a wolf.
Oh, there we go. So there's little globes that kind of float around on the terrain, and those are little like a sparkle trail or a breadcrumb trail. Wow, words are hard. That your sylph leaves, so that should you ever die or get separated from the group, you'll see where we went.
Okay.
So it allows you to find us again.
Okay. I think that I like I love the idea of knowing where your people went, because I lose people all the time. Oh
yeah.
It might be cool. Yeah, it might be cool if it was a little more obvious, but that's me. That would be.
Yeah, it still needs more iteration. We spent a lot of time trying to get it like just functional and working.
Yeah, no, the functionality to get initial functionality is a great start. So. Absolutely,
and it gives us something to explore with.
Yeah.
Right. Testing it. Where did we go?
Where did you go? I saw you over there. There's a wolf. I found a wolf. Hi.
Uh-oh.
I have a wolf. Take a wolf. Oops.
Here, we'll help you with this wolf.
All right. I will heal you.
Yay.
I remember the role of a healer. I swear I did not cause raids to wipe nearly as often as people might remember.
Oh my goodness.
I definitely did. I definitely was the cause of many a wipe.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. Uh-oh.
This happens when I normally play
targeting is not working well. I tab targeted hoping that I would get the mob in combat. But instead I pulled something new. Womp womp.
Getting lots of wolf bones here.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, so that glowy thing that we just walked away from, it's back over this way.
That tree thing, or?
Yeah.
Should we go to the tree? Let's go to the tree.
Let's go check out the tree. So this is one of those items that we say in our map generator, like only spawn one of these.
Okay.
And it's going to be in a different location every time.
Oh, we're being attacked by another.
Aggro.
Uh-oh. Kraken root. It got.
It's stuck. Is it stuck underground?
There it is. Nope. Right away. Save the mage.
Out of range for me. Weird. Another bug.
It happens.
Bugs? What?
Collision is one of the most frustrating things. Is for multiplayers, because like, where is everyone in the server?
Oh yeah, and don't look too closely, but you can walk straight into those trees.
I definitely gonna do that
now. Ooh, in one tree and out the other.
Here we go.
Hey. I want to do that too. That's fun.
It is fun. I do kind of want to climb the tree, to be honest. All right, so what is this tree?
Well, can we click on things?
I'm trying. It says target out of range. It probably helped to. Okay, so the compliment layer. Okay.
Shall we?
Well, I'm already here, so.
Oh, it's done. Where's Cobblemot? Oh no.
You already kill him? It's not over there.
Well, let me see if I can. It looks like Cobblemot is dead. Ding dong, Cobblemot is dead.
I want to just climb up these rocks and look around. If I go down there, will I die?
Around. This is actually one of my favorite environments in the game. So this one was actually handcrafted specifically to create this boss layer. And so our idea of like our zones is that we have like the generated overland, we have our village zone, and then we have like our unique boss encounters.
Yeah. And it looks like we did have a question about the loot system.
It's super basic. Hey, loot game mechanic. Should the loot be added to inventory automatically? Does the user need to see what loot they are collecting and manually close the loot window? Yeah, no, this is actually a great UX question, Marilee. And Marilee is, in fact, a really amazing UX designer. I love that you're bringing our focus here. Loot for us, there's a balance point with how to handle UI for loot. You know, there's lots of ways that you could go. My favorite is in Diablo. It's what I call lovingly the loot pinata method, where you hit the mob and it bursts out all of the gold, and you just run over it and you automatically pick it up. But what that doesn't do is it doesn't give you a chance to really examine the loot, like as you're bringing it in. Like the difference is for World of Warcraft style loot is that you take a moment to go and evaluate, pull the items, you read through the list. We present it in such a way that encourages a little bit deeper dive into the capability of the item. But the intent, like the best case is actually to make it as easy as possible once you get a chance to glance at it, to loot it and be done with it, to move on, because you don't want looting to take up too much time. But taking up a little bit of time is actually good for a user's absorption of loot as lore, loot as story, and loot as progression.
I think it's also worth noting that if you don't have any sort of interaction with the loot starts to become a bit meaningless.
Exactly.
It just starts to feel like you open up your inventory and I don't even know what's in here. I don't know. It's just like Amazon came to your doorstep and left a bunch of packages, and you're like, "Congratulations!" No one knows what's in there anymore. So,
well, I mean, you want to kill some bosses? Because
let's kill some bosses.
One. Help!
Oh.
Help!
Oh, we have a boss.
What game dev team are you if you don't have bosses that you can summon from items to be able to test combat?
That is definitely one of the testing factors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, what I wouldn't give for sound effects. Pew. Pew. Heal.
Whoosh, bing,
bang. Ding.
Yeah, I can definitely tell the particle effects are really what is drop in frame rate, but that's fine. Particle effects are pretty harsh. In general, people think about optimization, and particle effects and lighting are some of the most expensive. They can be optimized, obviously, in various different ways, but polygons they're a lot cheaper these days. We've gotten our CPUs have gotten very good at those, but and in terms of optimization, textures are mostly the actual physical size on your drive. Whether
and you're loading those into memory.
Yeah, and how long it takes for you to load into a new zone, all that stuff. So it really depends on what lever you need to pull for optimization. And like you said, it does get better, but also, with multiplayer, then you have to add on, whether or not, your collision and pathing is taking up a lot for latency and stuff like that. It's such a complex thing. And while you build and you're trying to test, whether or not a gameplay mechanic even works, if a quest line is even fun and worth optimizing. If you optimize before that, it's, you've missed the fun, because the iteration needs to be fast. Yep. Yeah. That fail fast mentality is, if you optimize now, don't make things completely unoptimized. Obviously, don't make, million poly characters unless you're working in Nanite. But, you need to, actually can't do that with Nanite because you can't animate those ones. Those ones still need to be fairly optimized. But, don't make environments that are like, 50 million polys unless you know what you're getting, what kind of pipeline you're going to be working with rendering. It's just a lot.
Exactly. Nailed it. And that is a real thing. And it's so funny because like one of the games that I really liked but had its challenges, which was Vanguard. If anybody's ever played Vanguard before, and there's a diplomacy card game, like there were so many cool things that made Vanguard feel like a true spiritual successor to EverQuest. But what they did with their textures is that they made like these massive, like 1600 by 1600 textures at the time. That was huge for the video cards available. If with the goal of having super high res models, and then that just caused all the players to have to play on super high end machines with lots of RAM, and like even when it like dithered down, it looked weird. Like shrinking a texture down, like a giant 1600 by 1600 pixel down to like the backs of one of these characters. Like it's only being shown at like 32 by 32 pixels when it's actually rendered.
Yeah. And I think it's worth noting too, that you already mentioned to me that this game, you wanted to be kind of family friendly. So you're not, I hope we're not all giving our children $10,000 gaming machines, because ouch. Braces first.
Yeah, no, they should play on an iPad, legit. Yeah, most kids have an iPad or some tablet.
Old iPad. Don't give them the new iPad. Give them the old iPad. Give them, or the cheap Kindle.
The hand-me-down iPad Pros that as parents upgrade.
My son has schools these days, they'll have like an iPad like school learning program, and the hand-me-down is so old that like it doesn't even run on my son's, because it's a hand-me-down.
So. Oh my goodness! Well, that was our blowhorn telling us we're almost out of time. Well, before we completely run out of time, here, I'll spawn another baddie. Let's kill this thing.
Okay, one more.
This is our Cobblemot. We could do this. Surprise, surprise. Oh, Frank is building
Frank is building a snowman. Frank!
Uh-oh. If he started building a snowman, he might have accidentally bugged out Cobblemot. He has this bug where, like, if you build something while you're fighting him or while you aggro, that he's then can no longer do damage or attack. So, I guess we just get to burn him down. This will be so satisfying. But also not satisfying. When he's bugged out, it's not as fun to kill. Like, you want it to be challenging.
That's fair. I like the kind of the patterns on the body that you're kind of playing with there. And yeah, I understand that, like, all the characters and all this, like, you've already mentioned that, you're playing with the shaders still and stuff like that. Those are all long-term things. I do like that this area you're starting to kind of play with, what the environment means a little bit still. I do like the little bit of subtle heights and stuff like that here. Is he going to die? Is Cobblemot going to die?
Come on, we got to do more damage. I brought my dog to the studio today, Chewbacca, and he came over and, like, while we're killing Cobblemot, like, asking for scratches, and I'm like, no, son, I can't scratch you right now.
Oh, he died.
One of your kin. Oh, we did it. Good for us. He ran away, and he ran up toward the beacon too. So yeah, you can see, like, there's a beacon here. So in the real game, like, this could be a really cool entry point beacon, and it could have puzzles around it. And then there could be an exit point beacon. Come up this way real quick. We have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
Let's get into some more trouble.
Yeah, I would say some of the things I would say, just looking at this as well, some things kind of feel tucked aside rather than really leading the player. Like they might feel maybe a little too hidden. And especially if, I don't know if this map is procedural, but the other map, it was a little hard to like find and see that tree. I almost wonder if, how are you generating some of that stuff? If you compare certain, if you compare certain terrain sort of leading up to it, so the tree will always be either on a hill or in a little like grove and a little so that like no matter which map it is, it's maybe not so much easier to find, but it's more intuitive. But that's all, that kind of tech, again, that's would need more proof of concept, but that would be fun to kind of mess with later.
Oh, I don't want to die. Oh, I died. You let me die, Becky.
I'm trying. I can't. I'm trying to. Why would you aggroing?
No, it's my fault.
Well, not. Yeah.
Now we're all. Oh, Tozep died too. Quick. Yeah. Oh, I wish. Can I get back to you? I'm running. I'm just gonna, So anyway. I mean, the whole thing I wanted to illustrate, which now I can't because we're dead. It happens. It happens. But the thinking was, and this is something that we had talked about with some of our beacon design, that in some of the zones, the beacon that you enter in is just a one-way. And then you have to find the exit beacon on the other side through, past the boss, past additional mobs, things like that. I like the idea of there being one in and one out. Okay. But then that, and then it creates a zone as like a puzzle to solve. But go up the hill.
I think there could be some lessons from, the Diablo Torchlight kind of procedural stuff where, there is, certain plugs and sockets and plugs to kind of work in to get, an escape room feel.
Exactly. With some like challenges in between, Come on over this way. Uh-oh.
Where are you?
Up the hill.
Leave all this health potion around here. My character will be.
I just expect you to heal me the whole time. You're our healer. That's your job, right?
There we go.
Thank you for healing us. So this is actually the beginnings of our first escort quest.
Okay.
On our first NPC that teaches forestry. It's the forester.
Okay.
We still have implementation work to do on him, but this is our first character model. And then we had to change out the rigs, and then none of the animations work on this particular rig anymore. So, but he's cute. I like him. But we have this intention of kind of creating this linear sense and connecting all the content together into a full world exploration game.
Yeah, I think that there's. Yeah, I mean, for a vertical slice, it would be nice to sort of get some of these assets a little more polished. I could tell that these rocks have been scaled up because the collision is a bit off on some of the parts. Not too bad though. Actually, that's not too bad. I am stuck, but yeah, pathing is.
It's not too bad. Now I'm stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, we have lots of holes in the terrain too. Oh, and okay, let's finish off this stream we can all dive bomb off a cliff together. Does this sound like fun?
Let's do that. Yeah.
As one should. I don't think we have falling damage. Do we have falling damage? Let's retest. Ready?
So I just jump off.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
Whee!
Whee!
No falling damage. Yes. Jump off the highest heights. Well, thank you so much, Becky, for playing with us.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see where, there's a lot you guys are doing with just a few assets. As a proof of concept, I can definitely feel some of the World of Warcraft vibes with like the tank, the DPS, the healer. I could see how, with certain changes, this could be, I guess I would say, how is it standing out from that? Would be my next question. I know that yes, there's a housing and stuff like that, but like the combat itself, I think it'd be really fun to see how you get that kind of friendship synergy that this game is supposed to be all about collaboration. I'd love to see more about that. That'd be really great. But yeah, I know we're over time. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us part of your Friday. And I look forward to brainstorming more about our beacons and the game and how to +1 all the environments. Like we're having so much fun, y'all.
Yeah, I really want to kind of like dig into some of the stylistic stuff, and like this little grove here, I think would be nice to just really polish up to show what Haven style is, because this is a very nice little tiny area that you don't need a lot of assets. It's a little vignette, and you can really, you got a few gatherables, you have the little redstone, you have some foliage and your terrain textures, and you can do quite a lot with that. Like I could definitely tell you guys you didn't actually get a lot of assets to do a lot of work to show a lot of work. So it makes it easy if you want to kind of go and polish that up to you're not making 500 assets yet, maybe
exactly.
Like
you keep
five to
the
10.
Asset pool really small so that you can really set style and optimize and figure out what that target should be with as little as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to jump into making everything, because what happens if you change the style? What happens if you decide that the gameplay needs to go off in this direction? You're probably always going to need ground textures. You're probably always going to need some sort of shrub and tree. But other than that,
animations would certainly change, right? Like, you change an ability on an ability set on the healer class, right? Or you make a weapon and you make a whole set of animations for that weapon, but then that weapon like breaks.
Or what if you want to change the class entirely? Maybe you don't want to healer class because everyone needs a healer at some point, and so everyone has a healing spell. That's just not saying that that's what you're doing. Just you need to be able to be that flexible at this stage. For sure. And you need getting some prototypes, getting some rough artwork in there. That's great. I really love that there are the things like the asset stores these days that allow quick iteration. It's just
you can get really far with very little with some of these resources. So also, friends, those of you who are game developers that are looking for work, like just make assets for the asset store. That's a potential way for you to really build a small revenue stream and get your work out in the world, and it's stuff that you can make money on and also work on your portfolio. So thank you, Becky, so much for joining us. I know we're over time, but I always love chatting with you. We can talk all day about game dev.
Oh yeah, all day.
And thanks for playing the game and your feedback, and I can't wait to dev with you more.
I'm excited. All right, and I will keep chatting with you about this. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yay! See you at our Monday sync meeting. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hit that button and buy a t-shirt with a dragon on it, and that will help us keep making some awesome games. Looks like this. I've already seen a Unleashed t-shirt out in the wild that I wasn't wearing, and I'm super excited about seeing more of them. So yeah, buy a t-shirt.